This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
So the scrimmage format, hi guys, scrimmage format is just like it always is, which you guys, I don't know if you've ever been to one. I think you have, but so we had 6 kickoffs, ones, twos, and threes, twos apiece. We had 7 punts. The ones went 3, 2, and 1. Ones, twos, and threes that way. We had 9 field goals, 5 and 4, 1 and 2. We start the scrimmage 1-0 versus 2D, then the 1D versus 2-0, then the threes and threes. The next series is 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3. Then we had a third down, 8-rep third down situational scrimmage where it's good on good, ones and twos. Then we went to red area, and that's good on good, ones, twos, and threes. And then we went to low red, good on good, ones, twos, and threes. And then we had a 2-minute situation, 42 seconds, 1 timeout, minus 44. And that was with the ones and twos. The ones did not convert that. The twos did. And I think Kyle just told you about Shipley's 51-yard field goal there to win the game at the end for the offense. So I thought the offense started extremely fast. Ones and two offense started extremely fast. Defense won a lot of situations. I felt like they came back in the second half. I talked to the team after the game. We got to figure out on offense how to finish the game, and on defense we got to figure out how to start the game, because we weren't very good defensively at the beginning, and we were a lot better. Thought our run defense was a lot better after the beginning of the first 2 series by the ones and the twos. But I thought Taylor Green was on point. I'm very, very pleased with Singleton. He's playing well there with the twos. And quarterback wise, I thought we had a really good day. And they've got great leadership of the team, of the offense. And so to be honest with you, is very few penalties. I don't think the offense had but an illegal procedure until late in the scrimmage. I think the first one there was with the threes. Very clean there. We had about 3 PIs defensively, which in this, I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill. We'll have to get it better, but you're talking about first team, second team, and third team playing. So overall, I thought our penalties were good. We had SEC officials, ones that have done 4 of our games, their entire crew here. So that really, really is going to help us. We're 3 weeks out from today, and that's really going to help us with those officials. And I told them to call it just like they see it. And of course, the hardest part is, figuring out whether they sack the quarterback, because the quarterback in his mind never gets sacked, and the defensive line, if they're 5 yards away from him, would automatic sacked him. So that's the worst thing of the scrimmage, to have to deal with it with the head coach as the head coach. But I thought we got a lot done, and I was very, very pleased. And I think we pretty much came out injury free from what I know right now, guys. I didn't see anybody going over the sidelines with an injury. So that was a great day.
You got the total snaps, maybe?
In these particular scrimmages, you'll usually get between 130 and 150. So you divide that. Obviously, the threes will get about 30 reps. So you usually get about 50 snaps per guy is what it usually averages in this. You go 12 to 15 in a rack, and if the offense is close down there to scoring, or I'll keep it going. I think we did have the lengthiest rack we had was 19, but that was with the threes. I want to make sure that everybody got to play the threes and the fours. So I'm going to guess that the totality of the scrimmage time wise obviously was about 2.5 hours, and then rep wise probably about 150 times.
Any overall thoughts on the run game? And then completely separate from that, have you made advancement on who's going to have the radio thing on Defense, Talon and
The
defense.
quarterback will, and then, you know, the Mike linebacker probably will. It depends, you know, what they do. We haven't found, to be perfectly honest with you, that the communication, because we're signaling everything, or he's going to have to signal on defense. We haven't found that communication is necessarily a plus for us defensively. Offensively, it certainly is, and we've tried it, but that would be the Mike linebacker. It would be, or Story would have it on.
I know you just got off the field and haven't watched the film, but was there anybody that jumped out at you, that individual that you think that maybe surprised you?
I thought Satagna, you know, he made some big plays out there. I thought he made some big plays out there. You know, as soon as you ask me the question, I'll tell you who didn't play today, but Gums made some plays. You know, Braden Russell's a load. Rodney Hill, I'm really proud of him. Again, at the beginning of the scrimmage, you know, you could say the offensive line was really doing well, and then situational, and towards the end, you could say the defensive line linebackers were, you know, when we tried to run the ball later in the scrimmage, couldn't. Defense really did a nice job when we were trying to run it early. But if you're just talking about people, you know, Jaden Johnson stuck out to me. Our linebacker core stuck out to me. Obviously, Landon Jackson, you know, Cam's a little beat up in the hip, Cam Ball, but Landon Jackson's really, really good player. I mean, and Keevy Rose made a lot of plays today, just off the top of my head.
Yesterday, that Kiwi's really coming on pretty strong. Is he making a case to possibly push for that other tackle spot?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. You know, we're really pleased with those four, you know, those inside guys. You know, Ian Griffard made a really good play, first play. I think, didn't we run it the first play of the game? I think, no, we play action, threw it to Satagna for about 50 or 30 or 40, whatever it was. But the first play Ian was in there, we ran, and he had a 2-yard tackle for loss, and he showed up. He's got to. I'm really pleased with all our guys and effort and all that, but we got to find the fourth inside D tackle. We got to find the fourth defensive end. I mean, that's what we've got to do. And so we'll get the tape, but to answer your question, that's what I saw. Let me say this, guys. That Devin Bell, man, he can punt the ball. I mean, he punted it 3 times a day, and I don't know what he averaged. Maybe it was over 50, I promise you. And every one of them was a fair catch. I mean, the guy, well, one of them he kicked out of bounds, but it was 50-something yards out of bounds. And then the other 2 were fair catch. He's had a phenomenal camp.
Anybody get held out or limited today?
Yeah, I can just go down. I was anticipating this. Pat Kuda's got a back, so we're resting it. We've rested it for a few days. We feel like we'll get him back. I'm not positive. It may be another week. It may be another week and a half, but we feel good that we're going to get him back. Joffrey Brown, we held him today. That was us. You know, he's had some knee surgeries and things, and we've been holding him some in practice as well. So that was a neat deal. Luke Brown is going to have a trim on his cartilage that he had worked on before. So that was 2 days ago. John Hill, Luke has, Anton Junekaj, and Marquise Robinson are out with concussions, and they've all been out different times. So depending on when they get back, I think Anton was the first one, so I anticipate him being back this coming week. Cuddy would be, or Marquise would be the next one, and then Luke's was just recent, and John Hills was just recent. Rashad Dubinion didn't play today because of a knee swelling on his knee. Jaquinda Jackson has his mild ankle sprain. Tyrone Broden, we didn't play him today from turf toe. I imagine some of these guys will be back tomorrow, but we just held them today. Dylan has a back. He'll probably be back tomorrow as well. Jaheim Singletary's got a hamstring, and Vito's got a pull growing muscle. Obviously, we know he's a kicker, so we held him. I don't have any. The longest one that I think is going to be out is Luke Brown, because he's going to have to be out for a couple of weeks. But the rest of these guys will be back. You know, I think if we forced half of that group to play today, I think they could have. Did I miss Armstrong?
Yeah.
Armstrong's got a slight hamstring too. I think they could have played if we pushed them. You know, when I was in high school, I had a hamstring and I had a groin, and I don't know if I'd have got out of the way of that damn guy hit me in front of my knee or not, but we didn't play anybody today. We're trying to get better today, and we felt like as a staff that it'd be better to hold these kids, get them back healthy. And then because we still have another scrimmage and some other live reps going on. So we decided to do that.
It doesn't sound like many long-term injuries, but
None of these guys are long term. I'm not worried about any of those guys. And I'll be honest with you, Trey, sometimes in these first scrimmages, you can hold guys a little bit if they're a little not bumped, but if they're, you know, there's some ligament problems that could magnify because of the portal. You got to look at guys, and it's really good. You know, you don't want to put a guy in that's a 2 that you're looking at it the first time against the ones in a live situation. So we looked at it as much as we could as a positive, and I felt like we came out of the scrimmage that way.
you mentioned Braylon just a little bit. What has he
Yeah.
done that you have been impressed with, and what do you think his ceiling is maybe this year?
Well, he's going to help us. I mean, he's going to be in the rotation. He's going to help us. He's a good player. He's a hard runner, but he's also faster than what you might think. And he's got a bad to the bone stiff arm. I mean, he's really good with that. And his consistency of hitting the hole hard is what he's got to improve on. And he knows that. He won't be disappointed that I said that. He knows that if he does that, he's going to become a really, really good football player, really good back.
We heard the kicking statistics, but just after we've talked a lot about them struggling to kick in the stadium, do you feel like that's gotten better?
Man, you know, 8 for 9 today from different places on the field, different. I'm so proud of those guys. I'm proud of Shipley now. I mean, he struggled, you know, last year, not anytime, just in the scrimmages, you know, but to come in there and hit a 51-yarder when the game's on the line today was big. And obviously Kyle, right? Kyle had, told you about the other ones, and none of them were we had one extra point, but then I just kept moving. I moved it everywhere because I know they can make extra point. I wanted to see if they could make other distances, and was really proud of all those guys. They you know, competition in anything really helps. And that's what we have. And it's been really, really fun to watch.
You said Malachi has been playing well. Just where do you feel like the competition's at with him and KJ?
Well, I mean, Malachi's definitely the 2 right now. I mean, there's no, you know, KJ and Boda are fighting it out there to continue to move up on the depth chart. But Malachi's played. I mean, you'll have to ask Taylor about that because he sees him in a different light than I do because he knows it's all his reads and all that. But I tell you what, he's throwing the ball well. He's getting the ball out of his hand, and he's a terrific runner as well.
2 guys at practice that we've seen bouncing in different positions, Anthony Switzer and Addison Nichols. Did you bounce them around today? I know Addison maybe has been with some guys missing out. You moved him to guard, but you know, what did you see from them and where did they primarily play today?
Guard, he played. Addison primarily played guard. And you asked about Switzer. Switzer played both. He played hog and he played inside, and played with the 1s and played with the 2s. The other day, you know, open field tackle, he's just trying to kill everybody, you know, and I felt like he did a much better job today in space getting guys on the ground.
And you know, with Tyrone and Andrew out today, who other than Isaiah, which receivers maybe impressed you?
And Taylor, Dozier, that's right. Dozier made some big catches. He catch a couple touchdowns, maybe. Made some big catches in there, and 82. Monte Harrison caught some balls today, and turned up and ran pretty well with it. And of course, who was the one that come wide open on a busted play? Monte, that was him. But he also made a couple stop routes and turned the ball up and made some plays there. He's going to help us. he's a good kid, good young man.
Hey, Sam, there was a story yesterday you were quoted about saying you were in favor of these injury reports if they were, mandatory and uniform. What are the benefits of it?
Well, I think, some of it is guys, you guys, if a kid's out, okay, and you just say he's out, for me, if I say he's out and that's it, then sometimes, and y'all get frustrated with it because you want to know why he's out. Sometimes I don't want to tell you why he's out, and you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes it's disciplinary reasons. Sometimes it's a death in the family. There's sometimes, you know what I mean? And sometimes he's injured, you know what I mean? So to me, I'm for it because, out is just out, and then you go from there. So, and I think the NFL does it that way. And so, I'm for it. And I think it will help, especially with quarterback situations, you can't say, well, I don't know. I mean, if he's out, he's out, and you've got to say it, so I'm all for it. And I'm all for it because there's sometimes even guys legality why we can't talk about why we're not playing a kid, and it just makes it to me a lot more cut and dry, a lot more easier, a lot easier on me to not worry about getting sued or something too.
And then I've got a question for you about Talon. I know he's sitting right here next to me, but what did you think you were getting from Talon, and what did you get?
Not what we got, to be perfectly honest with you. I knew he could throw the ball. I knew that he was fast. I didn't know the kid. The kid is more valuable than the athleticism, to be perfectly honest with you. And I tell you, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's not a running quarterback. He can run. He's a thrower, but he can run now. And guys that have his athletic ability a lot of times get categorized as a running quarterback. This guy's a quarterback that if you break down now, he's gonna take off, he's gonna hurt you. And but I think it's the culture, the leadership, and we got Sori sitting in here too. It's the culture and the leadership and the value that they bring. You'll never hear either one of them complain. They know that is vampire energy. They don't want that. They're tremendous team guys. But to answer your question, no, I had no idea what we were going to get in him that we've got. No idea. I don't know that you can, but it's been very, very special.
Going back to Nichols, how y'all have been bouncing him and Wiggins kind of back and forth between center and guard. Have you determined like maybe Nichols is better at guard when Wiggins is at center, or is that still kind of like a work in progress, kind of figuring that
I
out?
think if we started right now, fair question. I think if we started right now, it would be Nichols at guard and Wiggins at center.
And Monte Harrison, his name keeps getting brought up this fall. Has it surprised you at all that he's been able to come right in after 10 years away from football?
Not if you really look at his body, his athletic ability, and even you go back to his high school tape, again, you got to look at the kid after that, I mean, talent, that's what's frustrating about talented kids. If they can't get the job done because they're talented, then there's something going on up here that's keeping them off of the field, whether it's work ethic, whether it's attitude, whether it's whatever. This guy, I knew he was very talented. I didn't know him, but I had a high recommendation from a guy I love that told me that he's a wonderful person, and he was right about that. So I probably thought he would progress about what he has.
You about this yet, but just with the rule change that removed the limit on the number of coaches you can have, basically, just do you have plans for staff changes with that? How has that kind of changed practice?
But not right now because the rule changed, right when we had our staff. Maybe in the future you look at some other opportunities there. But I tell you what has helped us with is, when they allow you to have 120 in camp and you can two spot, you got guys on the other field that have been coordinators at D2, 1AA, have been, that guys were using, where you were using their brain, where now we can use them to actually coach on the field. So I think the benefits come more from individualized teaching, but it also comes from you can get extra reps for your developmental guys, not your ones and twos. They're going to have the same amount of reps, but for your developmental guys and the coaching, like Miles got down there coaching the quarterbacks on the two field. I think there's so much benefit from that, and that's why we two spot a lot. And I think that allows us to do that, and it's going to allow us to develop our team faster, in my opinion.
Hey, Sam, I think Kyle said you guys had 7 kickoffs. You said Vito was out. I was wondering who handled kickoffs.
That's a good question. Who handled kickoffs? Devin Bell. And who was the other guy? Shipley didn't do it, right? Who? Oh, yeah. Vondermeeden.
Yeah, and I know Devin, he kicked.
Bell won the kickoff job in the spring now when everybody was healthy.
Okay. And
He can boot it.
And then now this is a little different, but I was talking to Chris Buckham yesterday, said he really appreciated, I guess, you and Charlie Williams getting Roger Stone, his thrower, into pro day. He said you don't just get to walk off the street into that, but he's probably going to do trade. Did you? I know you're focused.
Can you believe that?
I just wonder if you knew what he
The
did.
freaking Olympics in the discus and set it what an Olympic record. The guy's incredible. You know, he's coming in here, man. I'd like to play football. And the dude's an Olympic discus thrower. I said, you need to go out there and keep chunking that thing. My Lord, congratulations to him. And Bucky and all them. Man, that's incredible. Gold medal guy out there running around trying to make somebody's team in the NFL. Did you know that, guys? That guy that worked out in pro day won the Olympics in the discus. That's crazy. It's unbelievable.
Coach, there's some optimism around the program from a lot of people, I think, including you, but how much is Bobby Petrino contributed to that optimism? I mean,
well, I think he was automatic bringing optimism to the program when we hired him, you know, because of the success he had here as a head coach. I love Bobby. He's done a really good job helping me I run him, Travis, I run a ton of stuff off of them. And usually it's, yeah, I think we should do that. And sometimes it's, you know, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? But the thing that Bobby brings to our program is just, and Travis as well, Bobby brings that swag to the program. He brings that belief of our players. They believe in whatever he says that it's going to work, you know, and the schematics of how it's going to work. They believe that he knows all the answers for that. And there's a lot to be said about that when you're coaching kids and they're not questioning how you're coaching them. They're going, if he tells me something and I do it like he says with my athletic ability and my mind, it's going to work. And I think that he has a very unique way with people. And I think, I think Taylor could probably answer it better than me, but that's how I feel the kids see him.
Yeah, did you change your access policy for high school coaches this year, this camp?
I don't think so. We just closed everything down, and then I'll have a guy maybe that has a player in here and that call me, and I've never said they can't come. Closed is closed, and then somebody will call me and we'll certainly let them come to practice.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.